Hello, everyone. I was trying to wait until the outcome of what would happen to Will Smith from the Academy, but they haven't said anything yet. From what my understanding is, it's going to take a few weeks. So, this is what happened today. There was issued a heavy storm warning. It turned out to be a lot of rain where I am in Arkansas. But anyway, the schools let out early, and I didn't even get a chance to go to the daycare. It was already out. So schools were out like at 11:30. The daycare was closed by 2 o'clock. So I got the chance, of course, to pick up my own children and then to come home and to do some work on the computer. So I saw a lot of YouTube today. And what I did see was a lot of teasers. And when you would open it up, it wouldn't be what the topic was really about. One thing that stood out is how Chris Rock, felt about the slap heard around the world, what was done to his brother. And Tony was still upset. And I'm pretty sure it didn't help that one thing that Jaden put on the internet was, "That's how we do it." So Tony's response was, "Well, it's on, bro." Now, I don't think that Tony or the Rock family would still be that upset if something had been done right away. It's not up to me to tell Chris Rock what to do. My understanding is that he has a whole year to press charges, but if charges were pressed and if he comes up with a lawsuit, I think that it would be in the hands of the law and not in Tony Rock's or anybody else's hand. Because one thing we know for sure is that sometimes brothers get out of control and they handle things the totally wrong way, usually ending up with a permanent solution to a temporary problem. But it did help Chris sales on his tour, and so tickets are as much as 700 plus. So good for Chris. Now, I've had a lot of time too to think about what's going on, and I see it becoming really a black and white problem. Now, Hollywood has the right to say what they want to, and it appears that most of them agree that it was something that shouldn't have happened, though it did, and it shouldn't have been handled that way. Perhaps they should have talked about it in the backstage. And I think most of us agree with that. But there's a lot of sisters, from my understanding, who are saying he did the right thing, meaning Will should have slapped Chris to defend his woman. And I think that's clearly a black and white thing, because I think any reasonable person know that that should not have been dealt with that way. You can't handle violence with somebody's just freedom of speech. No, you can't go around hitting people. You can't even do that in school. At my school, you probably wouldn't get suspended, but you might get in-house, or you might, which is in-house suspension, or you might get a good talking to, or you may stay in school for a few minutes and go back to your classroom. Yes, times have changed. So there's not a lot of consequences for bad behavior. And that will only increase if the Academy does not do whatever it is that they need to do. Now, I'm not one who is saying his Oscar should be taken. No, but I do think that a heavy fine and barring from the Oscars for maybe a couple of years would not hurt. And maybe not being able to work maybe for a year or two. Something that'll really stick and get to him. But I think feelings would not be hurt, like I said, with Tony Rock, if there were charges pressed right away and that a lawsuit was around the corner. Now, as far as Jada, I've been thinking about her because there's also reports from a former student of mine, an adult student. I also taught at a culinary school, English composition and professional communications. No, this is not an interview. But as a grown-up, he claims, and he puts all of this on Jada, he says she's toxic. Okay, that may be. Sometimes, wives are blamed for a lot of things, and we tend to influence our husbands, whether we admit that or not, to do one thing or the other. Whether they are deeply in love with us or they're just used to us being around and we've become one of their really, really close friends. And that may be the case of Jada and Will, since they allegedly have an open relationship. Because we all know, or we think we know, what Jada may have done behind Will's back or with his consent. With that said, it is not easy for the new wife to have the old wife, who is just as beautiful, who seems to have all of her hair with very little extensions, paraded around. Somebody who your husband still go on vacation with. Now, I understand that they have a son. His oldest son, Trey, Sheree is his mother. But a lot of us who are close to Will's age, I'm actually his age mate, we do recall some interviews that he used to do where he would always say his biggest regret was walking away from his marriage. So that would make me feel, as a new wife, some sort of way. Understand that we're rich now, we're wealthy now, and we can include Trey a lot, and we can even invite the mother, and it is great to be a blended family, but that can sometimes be unhealthy. That ex-wife does not have to be everywhere we go. And I'm not saying that Sheree is everywhere they go. But I noticed today on a YouTube video where Will is holding up the Oscar, who is behind him walking past the spotlight, none other but Sheree. So Sheree was there also. And perhaps she was in backstage or wherever he was as an act of support. We saw what happens with Sister Wives. Those of us who are fans of Sister Wives, that three-way union before the fourth person, Robin, came along was a farce. It was not what it was supposed to be. So that would lead a lady, any lady, to, as Mary did, the first wife to Cody of Sister Wives, when you get attention by anyone, you are likely to have an entanglement. Why? Maybe you were separated, but you definitely have been ignored or felt like you weren't number one, though you have the ring. So I'm still waiting to see what is going to happen with Will Smith. I don't want him banned forever. Other people are saying that. I don't necessarily want the Oscar taken away, but it will be a profound message for that to never, ever, ever, ever happen again, because like we all may agree, he earned that. I don't even want him banned forever, if I didn't say that. He can go to the Oscars, but maybe miss 2 to 3 years. So, and it looks like he was asked to leave, but he refused to, according to the latest information that I've seen, that the Academy told him to leave, and he refused to. So much for Denzel and Tyler begging him to stay. I think it's more likely they were telling him to calm down, that it was okay, and Denzel gave him that profound message of at your biggest hour, the devil will appear, and that we know is true. So we're going to see how this work out. And unfortunately, it is the main attraction from the Oscars. His Oscar win will be forever linked to the slap heard around the world. With that, I'm wishing you all well, and I'm just like you, not necessarily glued to the TV or to YouTube, but waiting to hear the outcome of what the consequences of his actions will be. And I would say this to Chris Rock, knowing that you will be the butt of jokes in the near future, you need to do what you need to do. Yet at the same time, know that you did the right thing by not fighting back, by not retaliating, by not avenging. You did the right thing. And I would hope that I would have done the right thing as well, especially with the whole world watching. So, kudos to you, Chris Rock. And Will Smith, calm down. Think before you act. And with that said, guys, I just had to talk to you. I have to talk to you every day. So you guys have a great evening. Signing off, Teach Jackie. Bye-bye.